I've just finished purling that whole round. We're back at the marker now, and it's time to begin our chart. So print out your chart and let's take a look at it together. Here's mine. You can see that we've got squares here filled in with 2 different colors. The 2 different colors just represent the 2 different colors of yarns that we're going to be using. I already decided that my color A was green and my color B was blue. You can just pick, just make sure you write it down, and then just decide which square, light or dark, is going to be green or blue. Mine have essentially the same value in black and white, so I just picked that's going to be blue for me, and that one's going to be green. So, and what I'm actually going to say here, let's say, so reading the chart. To read a Fair Isle chart, we're always going to be, when we're knitting in the round, we're always going to be looking at this chart from right to left. And each square on here represents 1 stitch. And this is a really nice and simple chart because these are all knit stitches. We're knitting this whole thing. We're just going to go around and around and around from right to left every single round, knitting 1 row of this chart like that. So the only thing that changes here is the color, and each stitch is represented, the color of each stitch is represented by a colored in square or not. So you can see that the first whole round for me is blue stitches. So once you get to the end of this chart, you just read it from the beginning until you get back to the beginning. So so what I'm going to do is show you a way that I like to mark off a chart. I like to take a highlighter when I finish every row and highlight it off. And the reason for that is, as opposed to using like a pencil to cross it off or nothing at all or whatever, is it helps you keep track of where you are. You can just visually see what you've already done, but you can still like see through the highlighter to see what it is that you've done. It's going to be really helpful. And let's say you're going to repeat this chart just over and over again. You're just going to go all the way here, and once you do this, you're just going to start from the beginning. If you've highlighted it, you can like use another color highlighter and use the chart again. Whereas if you use like a pencil to cross off the row, it's crossed off and there's nothing you can do about it. So for me, in my experience, I've found that the nicest way to keep track of where you are is to use a highlighter. And what I'm going to do is highlight this 1 row already. I'm going to say that that purl round that I did is this one right here, because I don't want to do any more blue. I want to start the chart. So I'm going to highlight this one, and let's look at the next row. We're just going to go up from the bottom here, like that. And it's all green squares. So this means that we're going to knit every square in color A for this next round. So what I'm going to do is, let's see, we need to join color A again, right? Because we weren't using it. We only had color B. So let's work on that. Voila! I highlighted the row. So there we go. I've highlighted this one. We're going to do the green row. So just grab your knitting. And you remember how to do this. Just hold the working yarn of color A, leaving a 6-inch tail. There's mine. Insert the right needle into the left-hand needle to knit, and then drape this loop over the right-hand needle, like that. Hold on to both ends and pull it through in your first green knit stitch. Then from there, leave the tail hang down, and just leave that blue yarn on there, or your color B, just leave it hanging down, don't cut it. And we're going to start to knit. And this time we're following the chart, the second row of the chart. We're just going to knit with color A all the way around. Alright, and I think, and then highlight it off. So do row 2 right here, and then highlight it off, and then we're going to be ready to start to knit with both colors in 1 row.